Alright. So, we are on the great island of Hawaii. And we've got the Grumman Albatross. What we're going to use it for is to deliver 2 passengers up to a farm on the island of Maui. So the next island north of here, it's a short flight. Just island hopping from one to the other. But we're going to drop them off at a farm. And then at that farm, we're going to pick up sugar cane to bring back to the main island. And then they're going to ship them off from this airport. It's where we're leaving and coming back to. There's no towers here. No real air traffic that we have to deal with. We're just going to connect to center. We're going to connect to advisory just to let people know we are taking off from here. But we'll be on center most of the time just listening in. But there's no real air traffic control out here, you know, doing Hawaii bush flights that we're going to have to talk to. So we've got passengers we're going to load up. 2 passengers that were at the hospital here on the island of Hawaii. And we're going to take them back to the farm on the island of Maui. And we got to do a water landing there. The farm has designated area for water landings. And we're going to drop those people off. And then we're going to pick up some sugar cane that they have sold that needs to be exported. A small amount of sugar cane that's been processed. And deliver it back here to the main island of Hawaii. So let's begin. Let's do our walk around here. And I love this plane. It is regular piston driven. It is not turboprop, which is unfortunate. You know, I love my turboprops. So it doesn't quite have the power, but we're not going to have to go up very high. We'll probably go up to maybe 3,000 feet just to hop across from one island to the next. We're not going to go very high. And we don't have to go very fast. We're just going to trim it out for the best fuel efficiency. The only thing I don't like about this is no tiller. I'm used to flying the Grand Caravan EX float or amphibious. And it's got tiller that you can drop down into the water to help turn in the water. This does not have that. It's quite unfortunate. So what you have to use is differential thrust. So if you want to turn left in the water, you make the left engine go in reverse, the right engine go forward, and that'll spin you around. You're pretty much dead in the water without your engines. And because of the torque of the engines, it likes to just spin in circles anyway, so it is a pain to get it to taxi. Now, I'd imagine somebody who's been flying it for a while and spent, you know, numerous hours taxiing it around in the water will be really good at it. I have not. I've flown this a couple of times and just did some ocean landings. This is going to be a little different because I do not have an entire ocean that I'm going to be landing in. I'm going to be landing in a small water field next to a farm. It's next to the ocean, but I've got to land in the field. And yeah, it should be interesting. Should be interesting. But we'll see how it goes. Everything looks good. Let's get aboard here. So you can see we'll take a quick... Whoops, didn't mean to step back out. Back in. There we go. Let's get the cabin air going. We'll turn the dome lights off because it's sunny out anyway. We'll set her up to about 70 degrees. But it's nice. You know, you can put a couple passengers in here. You can load some cargo into the back. So it's not a bad boat at all. The yacht of the sky. So anyway, let's get rid of the ladder. Shut the door up here. Now we'll come back up front. Yeah, let's see if I can remember how to start this bird, because again, I've only flown it a couple of times. We need pitot heater on, ventilating air is fine. This needs to be down on emergency and parking brakes. I think the brakes are set. Just in case they aren't, let's push the brakes in. 1, 2, 3. And I don't even know if you have to do that 3 times. Somebody else down in the comment might be able to explain. Do you have to pump that just once, or do you have to pump it multiple times? I don't know. I pump it 3 just to be sure. It seems to always work. Let's see. Let's go ahead and start the battery on. Generators, left and right, on. Let's put the aviation master on, radio on. Start the fuel pumps. Engine right, engine left. Let's see. Attach the gust lock forward. We want to run fully rich. Is the supercharger on high? It is on low. We're going to set her on high for the start, and we're going to give it a little bit of gas to the engines. Our magnetos.
Clear.
Turn the magnetos on there. And let's open up the window. Let's open the window. It's nice. It's warm out. Let's hear these engines. I love a piston engine start. So prime, 2, 3, 4, 5, and start. Come on. Come on, start for daddy. Oh no. Okay, there we go. Nice. Nice. And we'll do the second engine. Prime, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Not bad. So, let's get the strobe and the nav. Alright, we're not moving. We're not moving. We can throttle back now. Got our lights on. Let's extend the landing lights. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll cut those on. Now for takeoff and landing, we need the rudder boost on. Let's see, am I forgetting anything? Yes, gas. Gallons. Let's see. We've got 1,416 gallons. I love this thing. It can go so far, and you can trim it down to only using like 85 gallons per hour. And it carries a lot of fuel. You've got a fuel tank on each wing. You got 2 fuel tanks on each wing. One of those is actually not a fuel tank. I don't think. It's just to help for buoyancy. But the other one attached to the wing is a fuel tank. And then you've got another like fuel in the wings so it'll hold a lot of fuel and it'll go really far. Get our aviation screens going. I'll hit yours for you, buddy, because we know you fly everything with us. You're fucking useless, pardon my language. All right, we want to go ahead and let's get this into the green. Perfect. We got the needles on the right-hand side, PSI, perfect, it's in the green. And we're going to go ahead and open our flaps, 3, 4, 5, and the cowl, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to open up the oil coolers, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so you see we're going to have like bad oil pressure and whatnot because we've got everything opened up. But once we start giving this thing the beans, especially for takeoff, we want those things open to keep everything running nice and cool. So let's see. I was saying something about voltage. Battery voltage is good. Left gen's not up yet, but it will once we start giving her some juice. Alright, let's see. The weather here. Temperature is 2994. We're going to turn on the flight director. We're going to go a heading track, vertical, nose up, 500. We're not going very high. We're not going very high at all. Now let's see. We need to go to... We're just going up one island over to Maui. Oh, we got some weather. Okay, that's going easterly. We're not going to have to worry about that, which is nice. I bet the wind is crazy, though. What did the METAR say the wind was? Oh, only 4 knots on the ground at 140 degrees. That's not horrible. Hopefully it's not too bad once we get up 3,000 feet. Anyway, we're headed to P-U-H-E-E. H-E-E. Let's get that set. Whoop. Add waypoint. P-U-H-E-E. Enter. Done and done. Back to the map. There a little bit more. There we go. Now we're going to be departing to the east. About that direction. Actually, we'll just fly runway heading. We'll fly runway heading to start. That's fine. What was the runway heading? We'll be taking off runway 7, heading at 68. 68. We'll just fly runway heading to start. We'll have to swing her around. Alright. Make sure I didn't forget anything. We need to be checking the frequencies right now. Alright. Traffic advisory frequency for here, which is PHUP, Upolo Airport, is 122.9. 122.9. Transfer, and we're just going to ident VFR, which is 7,000 here in Hawaii. Ident, you. GPS. Right. You know, though, it's all looking good. I think we're about ready to roll. November 91 Alpha Romeo. We are taxiing to runway 7. Oh, hey, gotta get rid of the brake here. Go. We're going to taxi down the actual runway. November 91 Alpha Romeo, entering the runway, taking off. Runway 07, departing to the east.
Approaching runway 25.
Get this closed. Got our flaps down. And we'll taxi down to the end of the runway here. RPM set, because we want all the power for climb. Lights on, so we should be good. We're really going to push these engines to climb us up to 3,000. Speaking of that, we'll set this to 3,000. Actually, let's set it to 1,500 at first.
Approaching runway 7.
Airspeed alive. And up we go. Let's raise the landing gear. About 2,500 for climb. Much better, much better. There we go. And we're climbing. So go ahead and set this for 3,000. Keep climbing at 500. Get ready for nav. We're going to have to swing around. Going to have to swing a 180 here. Oops. Go ahead and start climbing 1,000 feet per minute. That's going to drop the speed down. We'll just keep going back and forth, bouncing from 500 feet per minute to 1,000 feet per minute until we reach our cruise of 3,000. We're actually going to have to go around Maui, the volcano of Maui. I don't want to climb up to 8,000 feet to go over it. We could if we needed to, but it's such a short flight. Just hopping from one island to the next. We'll probably just go around it. We need to go around it to come in the backside to land anyway, so. Alright, looks like we can actually increase to 1,500 feet per minute here. Get that climb out to 3,000. Back to 1,000 feet per minute. All right, we can go ahead and get fuel booster pumps off. They've done their job. We're up here. We have reached our cruising altitude, and we have hit our GPS track for navigation. So, supercharger back down to low. The RPMs can go down to cruise. And we're going to trim the RPMs really low. We're not going to go down to 2,000. We're going to go to about 1,600 to be as fuel efficient as possible. Of course, we're going to have to give her more throttle because we lowered the RPMs. And now we're not going to run super rich. We're going to run a little more lean. We're cruising at about 150 knots. This thing naturally cruises about 140 to 170 knots, just depending how you've got it trimmed. If you're cruising 170 knots, you're burning through a lot of fuel. We're at about 145 knots cruising, so we are trimmed for. Ooh, we're still using 138 gallons per hour. Now I think we can get it a little bit less than that, maybe. A little more lean, down to 121. All right, we are down to 97 gallons per hour. Typically, a realistic cruise, 120 gallons per hour. If you're doing a long flight and you really need to trim it, you can get it down to about 75. We're going to run it right here at about 98. This seems healthy. This seems healthy. Alright, so we do not need the lights anymore. Whoops, we do need nav and strobe and beacon. But we can retract the landing lights. 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And our generator. Left gen is good, battery's good, bus is good, right gen is good. Everything's in the green. Green. Good on fuel. Green, green, green. Everything's in the green. That's what we like to see, in the green. So we're chilling. We got a little bit of turbulence. We've got tailwind, kind of a cross tailwind coming from the right at 18 knots. Not horrible, but it is going to be a little bit bumpy. Give her a little more juice. We're going to run about 116 gallons per hour. 120 is about where you want for shorter flights. We'll give her a little more juice. We're running 115. Now we could trim it up even more if we wanted. We could do a little more RPM. And then run it a little more rich. Now we're up to 127 gallons per hour. It's not bad. We'll run it right there. And we're just cruising. We are going to have to go around that mountain. So, oh, there's a volcano actually, not a mountain. So we're going to get our heading track. We could climb over it, but then we'd have to drop so quick for landing. I don't want to do that. I'd rather just go around it. So we're going to switch off at GPS to heading. And we'll just go around it. We will time lapse. We're just cruising. So we'll time lapse from here to the mountain when we need to turn and start preparing. Okay, we've descended down to about 700 feet. Autopilot's off. We've got everything set where we wanted. Supercharger on low, 2,000 RPMs. Rudder boosters on. We're ready to land this bird. We're swinging around now. The wind is shifting. Wind has shifted considerably. So we were going to have a nice long runway. Let's go ahead and get some flaps down. We were going to have a nice long runway to come in and land on. We're not going to have that now because the wind has shifted. Luckily, there's not much wind. It's 2 knots. The water, not a lot of waves because of that. It's very crystal clear, but that presents its own problems. It's very difficult to tell when you're about to touch down when you don't have a lot of waves. And the water looks like glass. We're still going to come in with a headwind, but instead of a long runway, we're going to have a short one. I've got to dive down here. I'm coming in a little too high. Buckle up, everybody in the back. So as soon as I hit this glass, I've got to raise the flaps completely to keep from bouncing because we want it to settle down into the water. I'm going to plant it. It's not going to be soft. I'm going to plant it and make sure we stay in the water. And then I've immediately got a reverse thrust to try and slow down. I'm coming in a little high and a little fast. So we're going to bring it down here. We had to come around because the wind shifted on us last minute. It's quite unfortunate. There's a highway that splits the farm and the ocean. Set her down nice and soft. There it is. Flaps all the way up. Reverse thrust. Come on, baby. Bump it nice and easy. There we go. Alright, we're on the wheels now, I think. In the shallows. We're going to have to give it the beans to get it out of this mud. Come on, baby. There we go. find some dry land. Good enough. Get the parking brake set. 1, 2, 3. And you can shut this bad boy off. Nice. Alright, engines are off. Let's kind of get her ready for takeoff. Lights on, that's what we want. Supercharger back on high, still rich. Let's actually get this gust lock on. There we go. Alright. Let's make sure the battery doesn't drain. I'm going to leave it on. Cool. We made it. Well, now we just got to load up the sugar cane and away we'll go. Alright. It is time to head back. Everything looks good. Rudder boost needs to stay on for now. Fuel boost pumps on for takeoff. That's good. We're going to do full flaps for the takeoff to get off the ground as quickly as possible. I should not have to prime because it's only been shut down for about 30 minutes. Oh, wait. I do need the magnetos on, though, or it's not going to start.
Clear prop.
There we go. Hell, maybe you do have to prime it. Prime 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. Let's give us a little bit of power there. We're fully rich. Supercharger's on high. Needles are on. The tank's there. Everything's looking good. There she goes. Come on. Come on, you old bird. Come on. Should I have primed it a little more? Now let's prime it a little more. Prime 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on. There she goes. Ah, I don't think she's gonna go. Prime 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's hit the right engine. on. There we go. There we go. We're in business now. I didn't think it was going to start for a second. I was like, man, it's only been shut down 30 minutes. Right. Okay, let's slowly slip into the water here. Get ready for our return trip. When we do that, we are headed back down to BHUP. BHUP. Move that. BHUP. There we go. Awesome, 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 awesome. Now heading, we need to head around the mountain again. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Around the mountain again. And we're going to go back up to 3,000 for the return leg. Let's check our weather here. Has changed to 909. Runway we'll be coming in on will be 7. Oh, either one works. We're actually going to come in on 25, which is from the water, I think. 248. We'll just go ahead and set this. So from the east. Coming from the east. Yeah. Cool. Get this bird underway. Into the water we go. Come on, out of the mud. Out of the muck, out of the mud. Into the water. Come on. Push this bird back into the sea. And we're in. Landing gear up, please. Let's get her turned around. Make sure the gear did come up. Open window. Thank you. Gears up. Good to know. Get us flipped around here. And here we go. And we're really not picking up speed here. Come on. We need more speed than this. We're giving her all she's got, Captain. Come on. Come on, more speed. All right. That floats off the water. I'm assuming that one's off the water. We're finally getting some good speed going here. See if we can lift off. And we are off the ground. I didn't think she's going to do it there for a minute. Kind of had me a little nervous. RPMs back a little bit. Supercharger, we want to keep on high. Yeah. Boost off. Making a slow turn. There we go.